I thought I knew every inch of my city. The alleys behind the grocery store, the hidden stairwell behind the community center, the looping overpass that echoes when you whistle at the right angle. But on Tuesday morning, I took a wrong turn I didn't know existed. I left my apartment like always. Locked the door at 7:42 a.m., earbuds in, coffee still too hot. I walked down Jefferson, cut across 3rd, and stepped into the narrow path between the Taylors and the boarded-up pet shop. Except this time, when I emerged on the other side, the street wasn't there. It should have been Westfield. But instead, there was a path made of chalk-white stone that pulsed under my feet as if reacting to my weight. The air was still. Too still. No birds, no engines, no hum of distant life. Ahead, the buildings had warped, taller, bonier. Empty windows like eye sockets. The clouds above looked stretched thin, like cotton pulled to tearing, and the sun wasn't in the sky anymore. Just a dull red circle burned into the horizon like a sealed wound. I tried turning back. There was no path behind me, only more of that pale stone, stretching backward into black woods that hadn't been there seconds ago. I kept walking. The architecture sharpened. The angles of buildings bent inward. And then I heard its soft music. An organ, maybe, or something mimicking one. Slow, distant, vibrating in my chest more than my ears. It pulled me like a thread. That's when I found the funeral. Not hidden, not secret, just waiting. There was no chapel, only a clearing surrounded by structures with no doors. In the center, a casket, standing upright, propped like a monument. I shouldn't have approached, but my body walked for me. The mourners wore black. Their clothes were threadbare and wet, despite the dry air. Veils hid their faces, but every head tilted when I neared, in unison. Above the casket, another Monumenta headstone carved into the wall of the nearest building. It had my name, and a message beneath. You arrived early, but not unnoticed. I looked into the coffin. It was filled with paper. Hundreds of funeral invitations, each one folded and sealed, all addressed to me. Different dates, different fonts. One even bore a postage stamp from a country I don't think exists. On the door of the coffin, scratched by hand into the black wood, a number. 3. I turned to run. The crowd didn't move. But the stone beneath my feet did. It pulled me back, step by step, until I was standing where I'd started, in front of the casket. This time, one of the veiled figures stepped forward and placed something in my jacket pocket. I didn't feel it. I only discovered it when I woke up in my own bed, 7:42 a.m., alarm beeping like normal. The invitation was still in my pocket. New handwriting. Second notice. 2 remain. I checked the soles of my shoes. They were stained white, the color of the stone path. And now, every time I blink, I see that crowd. Closer. More defined. Like they're waiting. I haven't taken that route since. I don't even walk to work anymore. I drive. But last night, I woke up at 2:44 a.m. to the sound of my doorbell. Just once. A single, low chime. I looked through the peephole. No one was there. But on my doormat was a black envelope, sealed with a red wax stamp. The seal was shaped like an open eye. I didn't want to touch it. I didn't want to know. But I brought it inside anyway. No name, no address. Just a card inside, thick and bone-colored, with black embossed text. Funeral service rescheduled. Attendance mandatory. 7:59 a.m. My hands went numb. I dropped the card, turned every lock in the house, and didn't sleep. When I opened the front door at dawn, the street was gone again. Not different this time. Not even a flicker. Just gone. Same dirt road. Same airless hushed trees. Same blank sky. My car was missing. So were my neighbors' houses. Everything replaced with an infinite corridor of cold, leafless branches. And worse me, feet moved on their own. Each step felt chosen for me. I screamed, but no sound came out. The pressure in the air muted everything, like I was wrapped in layers of wet fabric. I followed the road again. I knew what was coming. I knew what they wanted me to see. But the clearing was different this time. The crowd wasn't just standing, they were swaying. In slow unison, like a pendulum made of bodies. Every one of them faced the casket, and the casket was now standing upright. Open. It was empty. Above it, nailed into the trunk of a dead tree, was the headstone. It no longer had my name. It had my face. And something was carved into my forehead. Not a symbol. Not a message. Just a countdown. 2. As I stared, the veil of the sky split. Not open, not upward, just apart. The air peeled, like a mouth stretching to yawn. And behind it, not darkness, not stars. A second set of trees. Mirrored. Upside down. And within them, hung between the branches like meat in a butcher's freezer, were copies of me. Hundreds. Maybe more. Each frozen in some moment I'd lived. Brushing teeth, tying shoes, staring into mirrors. They weren't mannequins. They were perfect, and all of them had their eyes open. And all of them were looking at me. The crowd turned, still swaying, still silent. But now they were nodding. The upright casket snapped shut without anyone touching it. A blast of air rushed out like breath from a lung too long held. My ears popped, my knees buckled. Then came the sound. Not music, not voices. A rattling, scraping noise, like bones dragged across glass. It rose from beneath the earth, from beneath me. I staggered back. The dirt rippled, and something beneath the clearing was moving. Burrowing. Fast. A bulge in the soil raced in a wide arc, then stopped directly behind me. I couldn't move. I couldn't scream. The earth split open. A hand emerged. Then another. And something pulled itself up. A figure made entirely of pale, pressed funeral cards. Layered and wet, like leaves in rot. Its head was a folded invitation. Its fingers were slips of paper covered in inked names. It stood, turned, and placed a third card into my chest, right where my heart should be. I didn't feel it enter. I only felt the cold. The clearing dimmed. The sky resealed. And I woke up in bed. Again. Same time. 7:42. But this time, the card was in my hand. I unfolded it. Final viewing. Tomorrow. No more reschedules. There was a mirror on the back. Thin silver foil. Warped, like carnival glass. I looked. And the version of me in the mirror was swaying. Just slightly. Like it was already part of the crowd.